Really?
Austin.
Our discussion today is on rape. So there was a research that was conducted at Chancellor College, and with about 395 women who were interviewed, 55% said that they have been harassed sexually or raped. Okay. And in the Malawian context, why is it that rape is in the increase, or why is it that the issue of rape is there and it's high?
From Malawian perspective, I think it has to do with our culture as well, whereby it's normal. Men just view women as sex objects, so that anytime that I feel like having sex, I can have it with a woman, regardless of whether she consents.
I've also read some research where that has been done, and I guess it also boils back to nature, or how the people in the Malawian context are socialized, whereby the research was saying that women, a lot of women agree that it was okay for their husbands to beat them if they refused to have sex, or if they weren't taking care of the children, it was okay for the man to beat them. So that's maybe innate, or the internal thought or perception that it's okay also probably encourages the men.
When we improvise issues on rape, people begin to laugh about it, even during performances. When someone faces a harassment or anything of that sort, then the audience is laughing. Why is that the case? Yes.
I think basically it's because the issue of sex is not openly discussed in Malawian culture. It's something which is done indoors. On the other hand, the laughing might also mean an extent of denial, whereby you're exposing the truth. And it's now people, because they're seeing themselves in whatever on the image, they would like to distract themselves from the reality. So it's, to me, it just shows that what they were saying is the truth, but they don't want just to say this is the truth and this is what is happening in our society.
Yeah. I have been trying to look for statistics on rape in Malawi, and it's not there. And there are issues that rape cases are not reported. And for me, it's sort of bizarre to find that somebody is raped and then it's not reported or nothing is done about it.
Well, I guess it goes back to the issue of openness in the culture that we are making reference to, okay, where sex is not spoken about publicly, sexuality is not something that is discussed. Therefore, things that are associated with sex tend to be put in the background, and therefore nobody wants to make a
Your
big
point
deal
of
about
view, it's kind of disturbing, the scenario that we have in Malawi. Because like if you see, if someone rapes, or maybe if someone does commit a crime, what are called aggravating factors. But you see most of the perpetrators, they get lenient crimes. For example, the maximum sentence for rape can be 14 years, but you see someone getting 4 years for raping someone, just for rape. And then you then go to our lawmakers so that maximum sentences can be imposed. That's the first thing. And also to our journalists, instead of putting the picture of the victim in the newspapers to create further trauma on the victim, that they put the pictures of the perpetrators to shame them, to name them and to shame them, so that everyone knows that this person defiled a person and is going to jail maybe for 10 years for that.
Another issue just related to the law thing, I think it's something to do with ethical, or to say the human rights thing, to say it's his or her right. If I'm a journalist, I'm not supposed to expose you if you don't want it. So what if the perpetrators do not want to be exposed? And to that, I think I can go back to what he suggested, to say maybe we should go back to our laws to say anyone should be exposed to attend something bad, because what we want is to reduce that, or to make somebody learn from it, not necessarily exposing somebody.
As for me, what I feel is like the most important thing is to make the community realize how it is. I mean, they should know their rights concerning to sexual rights or like gender rights. If they know that, if there was a possibility like to teach them and know, that's when they would feel.
We are open to talk about sex. If we're open to talk about sexuality, we're open to talk about about gender rights, about sexual rights, and people become more aware of it, and they understand that if someone is raped, it is not their fault, then that becomes an encouraging factor for the people involved. Then I feel like if it happens to me, I have the voice. But if that openness is not there, if people are not given the opportunity to voice out these issues, then I'm afraid it's going to be a silent issue, something that no matter the impact it has on your family, if I'm feeling guilty about it, if I'm feeling ashamed about it, I still won't come out because I'm always looking at what the society is.
In my opinion, there is a strong connection between if you can sleep with 20 girls in one night, you don't even talk of protection. So if the feces got AIDS or is HIV positive, it automatically means the feces is also spreading it to the girls. And also you have cases of pregnant women also being involved. The feces also has to have to certify a pregnant woman that you are also a woman, which then gives chances of likelihood if the feces is infected, the pregnant woman is also infected, she goes on to infect her unborn baby, she also goes on to infect her husband, which then further spreads the infection, sort of a multiplication factor.
I know with commercial sex workers too, when people have sex with them or they abuse them, they don't consider them that one.
Prostitution, like first of all in Malawi, prostitution is not legalized. So I think that's why probably it's hard for the prostitute to report that we've been raped or been abused sexually. But then if we look at everybody's lives, if somebody abuses you sexually, it's something that is not good.
For me, the way forward is to start with me as a man. I mean, are there any behaviors that portray that makes the practice or that really encourages other men to really go ahead raping women?
It's right and proper to have to improvise ways which will help the females to say they have their rights. They have to realize that they have to be assertive enough. If men say, I want to have sex with you, they should be there to say yes when they want to have sex and say no where appropriate.
I'm Blessings, and I'm a woman. We were looking on the society's expectations, and then it came to me. Nobody said you have to do this. Then I realized. Then the learning process, the changing my behavior started like a process to me. This is what you're supposed to do. So now I feel proud as a woman. I stand. Whenever there's issue of sharing power, to me I take it. You can be a leader and I can follow, and sometimes I can also be a reader and you can also follow. It needs to be like that. So to me, I feel proud as a woman, and I want to use that in the we have a lot of women in Malawi where they say we have to be submissive. So I want to use like the bridal showers where I can go and tell women, they tell, hey, you have to be submissive, hey, you have to endure. I want to use those public places where they say women have to be submissive. I have to use that. The change in me shouldn't be in myself. I shouldn't be selfish. I should also use that so that other women can also stand on their rights. So to me, I really feel proud that I can stand as a woman.